Hey friends, welcome to One Little Coder. In this video, we are going to look at a new tool from Microsoft called Lobe.AI. So this tool is a no-code machine learning tool, which means you don't have to write a single line of code. Still, you'll be able to create machine learning models or deep learning models or computer vision models. And there are tools like this exist before. So for example, there is a very famous tool called Teachable from Google, teachable.google.com. So we have already made a video on the same tool, how to create an image recognizer that will recognize whether somebody is wearing a mask or not, no mask. I'll link that video if you want to check that out. This tool differs slightly from Teachable. How? The first thing is this tool is a desktop tool. Unlike Teachable, which is a browser-based tool, this tool is a desktop tool, which means if you're going to train the machine learning model, the speed in which the machine learning model can be trained on this particular tool depends upon the computation power that you have got. But still, from my experience, it is not very computationally intensive, but still that is one big caveat that I see. But on the side of advantage, it helps you export your models in a lot of different setups, for example iOS app or core ML, which we will see at the end of this video tutorial. So let's get started and then understand how we can build a very simple cat versus dog model, and then we can evaluate that. So first of all, when you have Lobe, so first you have to go to Lobe site, and then you have to go to Lobe.AI, and you have to download it. So you have to click download, and then you have to download it. So once you click download, you will get the local version, whatever your operating system is, you will get that version, and then you can start using that. So you can see a lot of examples here how to do that, but I'll just quickly give you a simple overview. So what we can do is, first when you click a new project, you will get an untitled project like this. Once you have untitled project like this, once you have an untitled project like this, there are a couple of ways you can import data to it. For example, let me go to this cat versus dog and I'll show you. So when you click import, it shows that there are three different ways you can import images. So if you see this section, we have three major sections. One is the first section where you have to label things. The second section is where you train your machine learning or deep learning model, and then the third section is what we usually typically call in machine learning as inference. You play with the model. So first, if you do not have labels at all, you can import the image and then you can do labeling. But if you have already image, or if you want to capture from camera, your webcam or anything, you can use this. But if you have already image, this is the structure that I mostly recommend, because it's quite easy for you to do. So the requirement is you have a root folder, and within the root folder you have two folders in the same class name that you want it to be recognized. So in our case, what we want is, we want shapes like this. You want a root folder, and within that you want cat folder and you want a dog folder, and then you can have images within that. And that's what we are going to actually see in this case. We are going to see when you have cat and dog images. Like for example, you can see I have two folders. One is for cat and the other one is for dog, and both of these folders have respective images, so cat images and dog images. And once you have that thing, then you are good to go. So you can see that I've already used 20 images. Out of the 20, I've got 11 cat images and 9 dog images. And when you click train, you can see that it will start training. But in this case, since I've already trained, it also would tell you what has been correctly classified, what has been wrongly classified. So you can see whenever there is something that is wrongly classified, they'll ask you if you want to relabel it. So you can actually do that. So what now we are going to do is, we are going to go online, find an image, and then from that image we are going to find if we can see a cat image. Okay, so that we can use for inference. I'm going to Google and let's look at a cat photo. Okay, so we see a bunch of cat photos. We have a lot of cats, so let's take this cat. Once we take this cat, let's save this cat. This image looks actually very big, and once we save it as cat, then the next thing we have to do is, we have to go to Lobe and we have to give that cat image. So let's do one thing. Let's give that cat image to Lobe. the image that we downloaded, we can simply just drag and drop it. We can just drag and go to Lobe and then drop that image. I think the problem is I've got it in a second window, so let me reduce the size and go to and drop it. Once we drop it, it actually shows as an unlabeled image. It shows as an unlabeled image primarily because we have clicked train and then we have dropped it. But if we click play and then drop it, then it would have a different, for example, in this case, if you want to add, so you can say it's a cat, and then you would see that it has been labeled. Now the training has started again. So this is the procedure if you want to train, and this would take quite some time, as you can see that it is training. So meanwhile, what we can do is we can now go and look for a different cat. Maybe let's look for a kitten photo. And once we have this image, now if by any chance, if that image, let's take a tricky image, probably this looks slightly okay. Let's oh, this is, the size is actually very big. I just don't want the inference to take a lot of time. That is the only reason I'm taking I'm trying to look for an image that is not content heavy. Oops. As you can see, the training is completed, so I've saved that image. Now what we are going to do is we are going to take that image that we just downloaded and we are going to say okay, oh sorry, now we are going to go to play and then we are going to say okay, search for this image. It's loading and it has correctly recognized it as cat. If you want to try, and the thing that you saw is it was asking me if you want to add this to the label dataset, so that you know it knows that you have to when there is a future image similar to that, it can easily identify without doing without struggling at that time. So that's the only reason. So I don't want to spend more time on just showing you again how to put another image and then see. So basically the idea is, if you have already labeled for directory structure, you don't have to do anything with label. Then you just do train and then finally you play with it, and you can just upload images. I think the most important part in this section is what you can do after this. So a lot of times what happens is a machine learning model would be built, but like what to do after that is the question. And you would actually see a lot of good use cases from TensorFlow website or PyTorch website. If you actually see, people have built their pet monitor, people have built mask or no mask, people have built a bee counter, how many honeybees are coming into the hive, all those things, all sort of interesting things people have built. But if you want to do any of those things, you need to now take your model out of wherever you are building, and you need to use it somewhere else, right? So that's how you can start using it. And Microsoft, I think, has done a very good job of that. If you go click file and export, you would actually see that there are 4 main categories where you can deploy or export your model into. So the first main thing is Core ML. So Core ML is the default ML framework on iOS and macOS application. So which means now you can export this model and start using it inside Core ML. And the second thing is TensorFlow, which means you can use it across platform. The third thing is TensorFlow Lite, which is used specifically for Android phones. And then the final is, if you want to just expose it as an API, like, let's say maybe you want to build a web service using Flask or Django or Fast API or anything, then you can simply export it. And for everything, they have given you some instruction about what it is, like where I can. This is basically a browser documentation. You can actually see what each section is, like where you can use each section is, and it is really a helpful thing, because in one click, it's not that training is one click, but exporting model is one click. Now you can export the model. And what do you do next? So that's the next question, right? So maybe I've exported the model, but I'm not actually good in building an iOS application. Maybe honestly, I actually don't even know how to build an iOS application. So what do I do in this case? And Microsoft has again done a very good job. If you go to their GitHub repository for Lobe, which I'll link below the like button, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and spread the word. If you go to their GitHub repository, you actually can find templates for everything. For example, let's say after doing Lobe, if you want to make an iOS application, you have a template. All you have to do is download the template, follow the instruction, put your latest model. So they have got line by line instruction saying how. So once you save the model, this is how your model is going to look like. Once you have the core ML model, now you can integrate the model with the app, and then you can build stuff like this. So it is quite the tutorials are really good. It's very straightforward for you to play with things. Only thing is, yeah, if you want iOS application, you need a Mac machine, Apple machine. But if you don't have one, then again you have different options. For example, if you want to just build a web application on top of it using TensorFlow.js, you can use this, but this is currently under construction. Let's quickly, if you have exported Python model, then you have option about how to load that model that you exported, and then how to use Python. So if you want to deploy it on Raspberry Pi or any of the tool, you can definitely use this option. So I think this is the best thing about this, having a documentation to export a model, and also giving templates about what to do with those exported model is really great thing. I think we should definitely appreciate the team for putting it together. But other than that, this is almost similar to Teachable. You can train any machine learning model, so you can actually see a lot of good examples. Like if you are looking for ideas, you can start looking for ideas here. Again, yeah, I think they're one of their pitch, unlike my Google's Teachable, is that now in a lot of organizations, if you are using it for enterprise purpose or a startup purpose, you don't want to upload your content on cloud, right? Because you have a lot of information security policy, data privacy policy. So if you are somebody who's concerned about that, then having a local desktop application means you don't have to now do any of those things. You can train it locally and then deploy it locally. You can do everything locally, and that is the greatest thing about this thing. You can actually have a project template, you can see examples, and this is quite a very good approach from Microsoft, I should say. If you have time and if you are interested in machine learning, definitely no code tools are becoming huge in terms of web development, developing applications for mobile applications. For machine learning and deep learning, this is quite a niche area, so there is a chance that it might increase further in future. If you want, you should definitely check it out, and you would definitely like it. If you have any more comments or feedback about this channel or about the kind of content that you want to see, please let us know in the comment section. Until that, I hope you stay safe, your family is safe, and I'll see you in the next video.